Clark Studios proudly presents Streaming with Keegan, with your host, Keegan.
Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Streaming with Keegan. This is one of the first interviews we've done in a long time, and the particular guest I have with me today is Mayito Martinez. Say hello.
Yo, what's going on, everybody?
Hey. First off-the-cuff question that isn't scripted. I've been wondering, what is your profile picture supposed to be?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's actually my EP cover art, my Bubble demos cover art. Yeah.
Cool. So you just kind of like use your latest cover art for your profile picture?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing. Every EP or every project that I put out.
Cool. That's a neat way to promote your work.
Yeah.
I've seen like that's like kind of the default thing for artist pages that aren't like fully developed. They just select the cover for the latest release. Not to say that what you're doing isn't clever or anything. I think it's a really cool thing you can deliberately do.
All right. Yeah.
Nice marketing ploy, which ties in perfectly to the scripted questions I have for you, because we're going right into the marketing questions. First question I have for you is from the marketing questions category. Well, first let me read the introductory segment. Hey, Sundown, welcome to the stream, and hi, Vox and Musics. Been ignoring the chat. Hey, guys. As indie musicians, we're our own labels and marketing team. These questions might help you broaden your influence and will help us to find you. Here's the first question. Where can people listen to your music?
Anywhere, to be honest, but I prefer Spotify.
Yeah. I mean, that is the main place where everybody can hear, where that's like the primary listening platform everybody uses.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. I definitely got into like this myopic monthly listener hyperfixation, if you will. Trying to gain monthly listeners. I peaked at like over 1,000, but now I'm back down to 100.
Oh, wow. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, it was good while it lasted, but now I'm back down to 100 and something, which is like, I feel like I don't want to focus on that as much anymore, because like, monthly listeners doesn't really matter, and it's even more when you realize it's literally just one platform. But at the same time, from what you're saying, it definitely makes sense. Like, Spotify is the place to be for music, it feels like.
Right.
Yeah. And I guess my second question is, what's the primary platform for... Well, you kind of answered that, did you? You would say your Spotify is, right? Primary platform?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Gotcha. All right. My next question is this. Where and how do you promote your music?
Yeah, that's a good question. I used to be way better at it, but now since I barely release, I'm like, that's a good question. I'm always using Instagram and Twitter as much as I can. I'm trying to use TikTok because TikTok's like really good for music promotion, stuff like that.
Yeah. No, I agree with you there. Yeah. I mean, sometimes you got to get creative with the promotional videos on TikTok to get seen, but if you pop off well enough, like, the virality factor is insane, so that's definitely an avenue to explore.
Yeah, yeah, for sure it is. Yeah.
And there's like a particular kind of online culture on TikTok that I mean, I feel like there's a cult. There's like there's different elements of like I feel like each like website kind of has their own culture, if that makes sense. Not trying to not trying to establish like I'm not trying to like not trying to give like I don't know multi-billion-dollar corporations a soul here, but I'm talking mostly about the people inhabiting it. Like TikTok has a very unique a very unique culture, like, and so same with Twitter and Instagram. It's I don't know, it's interesting, but yeah, that's a bit of a. I guess my point there is to try to utilize not only TikTok's algorithm, but also what the culture, the dominant culture on TikTok would generally like to see. I think is another way. Like, one way to do is like you can implement your music. You can add your music to like I don't know some kind of dance video. That's like a complete. That's like an example that may or may not work, but like just I don't know, thinking about what people like to see, what gets most clicks. I found a niche. I found a niche making my little silly chip speech covers, if any, which I don't know, surprisingly blew me the fuck up on TikTok for a while. Like there's this one TikTok that blew up on there. It was like a chip speech thing, because apparently chip speech, which is a voice synthesizer, like there's a niche like cult following there, and a lot of people on TikTok like chip speech. So that was kind of my gateway into virality on TikTok.
Right.
Just, you know.
Yeah, I gotta find my own thing.
Yeah, exactly. Like obviously don't chase views at all costs. Like you still gotta make sure it's your own thing and it's natural to what you want to do. You gotta have that balancing act. But yeah. Yeah. That's a great example. Sundown. Yeah, that's you've literally found me through the "Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared" cover I did. Do you know "Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared"?
I've heard of it. Is it a claymation?
They do claymations sometimes, but primarily it's live action puppets.
Oh, I got you.
But yeah, I did a cover of one of the songs in "Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared" using chip speech, and what I did there was combine not only the "Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared" fandom, but people who enjoy chip speech as well. Top it off the fact that chip speech, the voices are computerized, and the song that I decided to make, the song I decided to do in "Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared," the song I decided to cover is a song about computers. So it was perfect. It was the perfect melding between the two fandoms, and it just blew me the fuck up. But anyway, that's I don't know. I don't want to make this about myself. But anyway, yeah.
You're good.
Okay, cool. All I'm saying is TikTok has a lot of potential, and there's a lot of moving parts to how or why you can get viral or popular.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, Vox and Music knows what's up. What's your favorite idea? Mine is being creative. That's one of the songs. It's the first. I think that was like from the first "Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared" video. But anyway, getting way off track here. But like, what kind of ideas do you have floating around in your head for TikTok promo? Like, what were you thinking for that?
Yeah, that's a good question. That's a really good question. I don't know. I just been thinking about doing something maybe like meme related, but at the same time, I do not want to become a meme.
Yeah.
Even though
that's
I
fair.
do love memes and stuff like that.
No, that's true. Like memes. That TikTok is majority Gen Z. We love our memes, so that's a great way to great place to start. Like just hilarity and randomness is, as long as it's not like a too try hard. Like if it's like deliberately just weird for the sake of being weird, I think that definitely has a chance of succeeding. Like weirdcore is a hashtag on TikTok.
Yeah, I've seen it.
And I've made some pretty weird TikToks before, and yeah, like memifying your music is definitely one way to do it. There are plenty of meme songs out there. Hmm.
I've been thinking of making a meme song, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. And like the meme song could be anything. You could memify any song because like there are plenty of like it's less about what the song sounds like and more about like what the song represents, and then it becomes in and of itself a meme. But anyway, I'm getting too abstract in this. Anyway, let's move on to the next scripted question here. If you feel ready to move on.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So this is another scripted question, but I realize this is not. You kind of answered the first element of this, and the second element that we didn't address is literally like the question I have here. The scripted question I have here reads, "How did you come up with your name and logo?" And that's applicable in other cases, but you already told me what your logo is, and your name is literally just your real name, I'm guessing, right?
Yes and no.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I can elaborate if you want me to.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah. So Martinez is my last name. That is true. Mayito, however, is like a sort of because I'm Mexican American, and so my real name is actually Mario, and
really?
nickname we use, yeah. A nickname we use is especially in the Mexican like culture, when it comes to like just like names and stuff, like Mayito is one of them. So it's just another way of saying Mario. Yeah.
I see. And I'm guessing you didn't want to I'm guessing, I don't know, like, is there a reason why you didn't want to go as Mario Martinez? Or is it just a choice that you wanted to go with Mayito?
Right. Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, I thought about it. I was like, I kind of don't want to use my full legal name. Like, I kind of want to have like a little twist. And I was like, oh, well.
Does that have any connection to like the Nintendo character, or is it like completely unrelated?
What do you mean?
The profile picture on your Discord. That guy.
Oh, yeah. I love Mario. I mean, not because that's my name, but like, you know.
Sure.
Mario's cool.
Yeah, you guys on the stream don't know what I'm talking about. For those of you who don't know, this is what his Discord profile pic looks like. Anyway, yeah. Just thought I'd ask. I didn't want to. Yeah. Anyway, but that's cool.
Oh no, you're fine. You're fine. Yeah.
Cool. So Mayito Martinez, it is. All right. So that's like a Mayito's a nickname.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. This leaves us with the last question.
All right.
I kind of know the answer to this question, so let me rephrase it. Have you considered using a centralized place to link all things you? Like an example would be because like when we talked when we DM'd, you showed me multiple links, and I have multiple links in the description for places that you could check out, like to find your music, and I have a QR code underneath your profile picture for your Spotify, which I don't know. It might be too small to read. Too small to read, so it might be completely useless. But I guess my point being is like, have you considered like having some kind of centralized place you can refer to, just so everybody can quickly find everything that is you, right?
Right. You're talking about like a link tree, right?
Exactly, like a link tree, but there are other websites you can do it with, like, you know, like a link tree. But yeah, basically a link tree.
Uh-huh.
Or something like.
You know what's funny is what's funny is I actually used to have one for my old alias. I guess you could say parentheses. But then I took it down for some reason, and I just decided to go the old route, which could be kind of overwhelming for, some people could, it's better to have like every link out like in one place instead of like, manually trying to like, click on this. Yeah. So I might bring it back, to be honest, the link tree stuff.
I would recommend it. It seems like it would be, for the sake of ease, in many ways, it's easier to promote yourself when there's one link you can click that takes you to something different.
Yeah.
And in my case, it's easier because whenever I interview guests, I always ask for their link tree, and then I turn their link tree into a QR code
Right.
for them to read, for people to read. But yeah, yeah, just some friendly advice in that regard. I think that would be a cool idea.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's it for the marketing questions. Do you have any like follow-up questions about what I said, or like or like anything any additional things to add? It's okay if not.
I'm not too sure, but I do want to say something.
Sure.
I've been wanting to say just on the stream. It's been stuck in my head for a while.
Sure.
But and it might be out of like context too. But
fair enough. That's fine.
Like for a while now, your song was it? Is there anything sexier than Cyberpunk has been stuck in my head for like the past like I don't even know how long, but I like it. I like it.
Thank you. That is always welcome to hear about. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate that. All right. Well, with that out of the way, let's move on to artist trivia. So this is wait a second. No, hold on. I got way ahead of myself. The next category is music questions.
All right.
Which means like it's time to talk about your music itself, like, you know, what you do. Yeah, your music itself.
Mm-hmm.
So the first question here is, how would you describe the kind of music you create?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
It mainly is on electronic stuff, but it's like
Mm-hmm.
How do I say it?
I've noticed that. That's definitely a theme.
Mm-hmm. Right. It's like I just like to call it just weirdness, just weirdtronic. And you know what? I'm gonna just call it weirdtronic.
Weirdtronic. I love that. I might have to start calling my music weirdtronic. Man. Another element, and correct me if I'm wrong, but another element I seem to detect whenever I hear some of your songs, it's like there's an element of lo-fi in it as well.
Oh yeah.
There's like electronic lo-fi.
Yeah.
Like those are the two.
Really
those are the
lo-fi
key
beats and
yeah. Those are the very distinct genres I pick up when I listen to you.
yeah.
I don't know if you can.
No, I really love lo-fi beats and stuff like that.
Yeah. That makes sense. I mean, it's good shit.
Yeah.
The next question I have is, what do you like about the genre or genres of music you create?
What do I like about it?
Mm-hmm.
To be honest, what I like is just being able to like just like free roam and make whatever I want to make without without prioritizing myself to like a certain genre and a certain style. You know, I'm not telling myself, I got to go for this or this because you know I want to sound this way. But
no, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Go on. Sorry, I interrupted you.
Oh no, you're good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I just like making anything I like, to be honest. Like one day I can make like a weirdtronic song, and another day I can make an electronic song, but with like some like maybe some like indie pop influence or you know something like that.
Yeah, definitely. And like I think it's cool you mentioned that it's easier to just like go with the flow instead of trying to make a specific sound, I guess. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is that what you were saying at some point?
Yeah.
Like whenever I try going for a specific genre, it always just ends up sounding like shit, at least to my ears. So I've kind of resorted to just doing whatever and letting the music shape itself. I still want to be able to make genre. I still want to be able to make genres when I set my mind to it, but there's still like there's still like a organic creative process that you have to respect. And if you're not in the mood to make a particular type of song, you're just not in the mood, and you just, at the end of the day, you have to focus on what you want to make. Hey, Alex Litterman, welcome.
Right.
Welcome. Yeah. Let's see. So the next question is, oh, this is a good one. What song or collection of songs are you most proud of and feel like reflect you the best?
I feel like I think Fumes is a good song. Almost everybody that knows me knows that song. Also, because
Cool.
I made it. I guess you could say edition back 2 years ago, and so the one I have right now is like a 2.0, I guess you can say.
Gotcha. I just realized that usually I play people's music when I interview them, so I'm gonna do that right now. I was going to do that with you, but I forgot. So I'm gonna just open you up and play your music right now. So what was the song you said best reflected you? I'll start with that.
It's called Fumes.
Fumes. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I'll start by getting on into that. And there it is. All right, let's play it. You probably won't be able to hear it, but everyone else can, so that's cool. Oh yeah, this one. Yeah, this is a good song. All right. Well, anyway, let's see. Moving on. What was the next question? Okay, the next question is, what message are you trying to convey with your music?
That's a good one. Another good one.
I'm full of them.
Sometimes. That's a really tricky one for me, because some days I feel like just making like a instrumental song. I mean, not that it doesn't mean anything. I mean, I feel like every piece of music, at least there has to be like some sort of like, maybe inspiration behind the little story.
Sure.
For my case, I don't know. I just feel like making stuff that I guess other people can relate to, or maybe if it's just an instrumental song that probably has like little to no meaning to it at all, then it's just something to like just chill to, something to vibe to. Just check it out, stuff like that.
That makes sense. I'll often do the same thing. I'll make songs for the sake of vibing, or I might, like, even my songs with lyrics, and I know this song that we're listening to right now, Fumes, has lyrics. But sometimes even when I have lyrics to write, the lyrics are very abstract and sometimes like mean absolutely nothing. Or they do mean something, but they're like what my subconscious is trying to tell me. Is like, I don't know, like what do you like, what kind of themes do you try to portray when you write lyrics? Is it just like whatever words come to your mind, or is it more just like a very like basic theme like that most songs try to broach? Like what's your thought process there?
Right. Sometimes if I'm working with somebody, I'll have them write up the stuff out, or we try to out, if you want to talk about like for instance, for Fumes, I think the person I was working with, I mean, we don't talk anymore, but at that time, I think we're talking about like sense of like loneliness and just stuff like that.
Right. Okay.
It's very like cryptic wise. I like to keep it. I like to keep it that way a lot, just to like it could be like interpreted in any way. But
I love music like that.
Yeah.
A lot of my music sounds very cryptic in that regard too. And if anybody asks me what the meaning behind them is, I would say I have no idea. You can interpret it however you want. But
yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah.
Sorry, I did
No,
it,
yeah.
did it cut off? I don't know if you said anything after exactly, but you seemed.
Oh no. I was just agreeing with you.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah, but like sometimes I just sometimes I just write abstract lyrics for the sake of being abstract, and like I'm sure my subconscious is trying to send a message, but I'm not consciously aware of it.
No need to
Right.
I'm not talking to you.
No,
Siri.
yeah,
What
I
the
definitely
fuck?
feel that.
Yeah. Siri fucking interrupted us.
Yeah, I definitely feel that with the song. You heard it on stream. It's called Adrenaline. I was just, it's like very short lyrics, just a verse and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But at that time, I was just like, I'm kind of feeling like Halloweeny. Kind of want to like make it cryptic and stuff like that. Maybe like I'll come up with the meaning later on. But for now, I'm just making the song for the sake of just making the song. But
Nice.
yeah.
Cool. Yeah. A lot of times it's just making a song for the sake of making a song.
Exactly.
All right. So my next question is, what new genres have you considered trying out, if any?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Mhm.
For my new EP, it's a little leak, but I've been
Mhm.
trying a lot of like jazz influence. Going back to like kind of like pop electronic stuff. A little bit of R&B because I also like that. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
That sounds fun. I can definitely see jazz integrating well into your more lo-fi vibes and even electronic vibes. I think that'd be pretty cool. And the pop element, of course, pop and electronic go hand in hand so much that it's sometimes hard to tell when a song is in the more on the electronic category and less on the pop. Like pop might even be like, because like pop these days, like is mostly electronic. They use mostly synthesizers in pop. It's a weird merger there, but yeah. Yeah. Like, I think pop music literally meant anything popular for the longest time, but now it kind of has its own unique vibe. It's still generally what most people consider to be mainstream, but when I think of pop, I think of like, Taylor Swift, Katy Perry, just I don't know, those people. And
yeah.
But anyway, there's a very unique vibe to pop music that I feel like doesn't necessarily involve electronic sounds if it doesn't have to. Like that's not the primary focus, but yeah, I think it would be really cool to incorporate pop into your electronic vibes. Is all I'm trying to get at, I guess.
Yeah, no, definitely.
And R&B too. Like that'd be fun. I really think all those genres meshed together would make something really interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go on. Sorry.
Oh no, I was just gonna say I got I guess you could say a good EP to share for next year.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. You're talking about your that EP. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. So my last question related to music is, this is kind of more like, I guess you could say, philosophical question. Like, what do you get out of making music? It's like more of a big picture type.
Right. I mean, I just get like a sense of like peace, to be honest, and like some sort of happiness, just because I've been making music for a while. I mean, I'm not new to this stuff. It's just that I kind of like restarted my discography, you can say, my artist profile, you can say. But no, yeah, I find some sort of peace in this, just because it's like the main thing I really do. And like, I don't really play games. I mean, besides Minecraft, I mean, you see me join you once in a while.
Yeah.
But
Still
well,
remember
other
that.
than Minecraft and yeah, it's just music stuff.
Dude, we are like identical in that regard. I only play Minecraft pretty much, and I make music. I make music and play Minecraft. Those are like the two things I do a lot.
Sick.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. So here's where we're gonna get more technical with our questions, because these are the technical questions. Questions like, what do you use to make music? Instruments, DAWs, hardware, etc.
Yeah, I use FL Studio. Always FL.
Cool, same.
All the time. Yeah.
But like,
and for
no,
for a mic, I used I think it's called a C1. It's like a USB type mic. It's really good for like just like beginner vocals and stuff like that.
Cool,
but it does the trick. So
nice. Yeah, something simple like that.
Yeah.
That's cool. So I'm guessing I'm guessing you don't have an audio interface at this point.
No, but I've been just like trying to work my way up to it. I mean, I've always said I'm gonna get one. I like financially, like it's not a problem for me.
Sure.
It's just that I'm just too lazy sometimes.
Yeah, and like, for the longest fucking time, I used my phone mic to record vocals. So, and like, that sounded fine for a while. That worked just fine for me for the longest time. But yeah. So there's that question. And when it comes to FL Studio, what are your favorite tools to use? Like I don't know, what are your favorite I guess filters and just effects to use? Like it could be particular plugins, or it could just be the core concepts, whatever you want.
Right.
Like, what's your favorite
effect
to utilize?
Like what do you mean? Just like reverb and like delay and stuff, like, or like a plugin?
It could be both. You could mention like a property like reverb or distortion, and then you could elaborate into a particular plugin. I'm down to hear it all.
Yeah, to be honest, I still use stock plugin, and I just like work around the but I like using Citrus is pretty good.
Yeah, honestly, same, dude. For the longest time, I've had only stock plugins, and they've been working just fine for me. But anyway.
Yeah, I still use stock. Yeah. I tried Serum, but I was like, yeah. The 3X, was it the 3X? I forgot, but it's a 3X one.
Question: Do you create your own sound? Do you design your own sounds, or you just use presets?
Both.
Cool.
Both.
Cool.
I like to use presets, but at the same time, I like to like layer them with like some random crap I just come up with.
Like, do you use filter plugins to alter them, or do you like go into the instrument plugin itself and alter them?
That's a good question. To be honest, I feel like I just filter them.
Same.
And I just like layer it with like some random stuff.
Yeah. Oh, Vox and Music said 3XO SC. I think is that. Yeah, it's like it's that it's like the 8-bit sound plugin. That's a good one.
I use it for my sub bass a lot. I use it.
That's a good idea. Yeah. That's cool. I ought to use it for a sub bass more often. It's very simple and gets the job done in that regard. Excuse me there. My next question is, what does your mixing process look like? Stands for oscillator. Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense. Oh yeah, and it's like 3 times, because there's like 3 of them. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. For mixing, I actually pay people to do that for me. I used to do it by myself, but I used to be really bad at it. So now I don't even try to mess with that.
Sorry, what? You don't mess with what? Sorry, I didn't catch that.
No, you're good. I pay people to do the mixing and mastering for me. I used to do the mixing by myself, but I used to be so bad at it that yeah, I know like a little bit of mixing, but I'm not
Yeah.
by any means really good at it, which is
That's-
not a problem at all. But it's just that I'd rather have other people do that just for my own good, I guess you can say. But
Honestly, that's so relatable. Mixing is like the number one bane of my existence when it comes to music production. It's like the least intuitive for me out of the whole process. But eventually I learned, like I knew the basics of how to mix for a long time, but I was never really driven enough to really, I guess, take it to the next level. Like EQ, I'm talking EQing, compression. Like those are like obviously delay and other effects to taste play a role. The way you shape sounds plays a role. But I think the primary things I focus on when I make, like, the primary things I focus on are EQing and compression and just whether or not, and stereo separation and shit like that, just to make sure that just to make, and another thing is just make sure like the sounds I'm using mesh well together, or if it's time to change this, like fundamentally alter the sounds in my mix. There's a lot to it. Wait, you're not a sound engineer? I'm not a sound engineer. But I appreciate the compliment. But no, I'm not a sound engineer. It feels like mixing is harder than mastering. That's because, well, I don't know if I'd say it's harder. I think it is hard. Personally, I think it's harder. I mean, there's a lot more moving parts to mixing than there is with mastering. I do mixing and mastering at the same time. And by that I mean, like, I have a plugin like Maximus on the master channel to alter the mix directly from the master channel. Some people like export an audio file and put it into a separate project and then change it. I decided to just do it all at once. So I've mixed up the terminology quite a lot because I just do it both at once. I don't know if that's like ideal, but like that's just what I do. Anyway, I've been kind of. You have anything to say about? You have anything to say about it, or I've just been talking.
No, I was just gonna say that kind of like out of context, but I mean not really. I mean, but for the longest time, I was actually gonna be I wanted to be a sound engineer instead of a musician.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, that does have to do with what Alex Linderman said. What made you change your mind? And what drew you to sound engineering in the first place?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just thought it looked cool just because, like, not only you work on music, but like you work on other like sound related stuff, you know, like concerts and like live venues and stuff like that.
Yeah,
podcasts, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was just like a phase, just a little phase. I was like, you know, I kind of want to try it out, you know, see what happens. But here we are. We're back at here.
Yeah. For me, sound engineering would only ever be a means to an end to establish my creative desire to make music. But yeah, like that's cool. You know, it's a cool skill to have, and even if you don't have like, even if you're not like what you would consider yourself to be a sound engineer, like, designing sounds. Yeah, what Vox and Music said, designing sounds is so much fun, and like it is, but it's also stressful at the same time if you don't know how to do it. But yeah, like,
Right.
I was going somewhere with that, but I forgot where I was going, so I'm just gonna leave it at that. So, the next question is, do you? Well, I know you. I know you. I know you use a distributor, but which distributor do you use?
I use DistroKid.
Cool. Same.
Yeah, DistroKid is amazing. Can never go wrong with it. They never fail me.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. Like there's basically no like the pay the how much they charge you is amazing. Like it's just like an annual fee, which is unheard of. And they do pretty much everything for you. Like it's crazy. They'll even like you can even release covers. Granted, you'd have to pay pay an extra fee annually, which I think is fair, but I haven't, which is one main reason why I haven't done it. But it's cool as hell that they have like that they're like they'd be in charge of like paying the royalties for that kind of thing. Like that, I think that is something I've that's something I've always considered, is like releasing a cover on DistroKid. It would really have to be worth it though. Like I've considered for a while to releasing my "Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared" computer song on there on Spotify and all those platforms, but I would only do it if I knew it was going to pay off. Because, it will give you it'll add to your annual fee every year if you release a cover, for every cover you release. But and other than that, like I'd say the only downside to DistroKid would be the fact that you can't contact anybody if there's a problem. Like the contact is abysmal. Like the support is abysmal. You can't find anybody to talk to. You can't get a hold of a person very well on DistroKid, which is the only issue. But overall, like that's like the one downside. DistroKid is amazing. I agree with you. That's the long answer for me agreeing with you, I guess. DistroKid has a lot of more benefits. That's why I like it. Yeah. Do you use? I'm guessing do you use DistroKid too, Vox and Music? I think you do, right? Do you? Yeah. This is a similar question. But do you use a publishing administrator? If so, which one?
What do you mean?
Like ASCAP or BMI to collect additional royalties.
Right. Nah, I'm not too famous for that. Not yet. Hopefully soon.
Same here.
Yeah, I wish. One day we'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there. That is on my next list. It took me forever to research because I wanted to be thorough in my research for a distributor, and publishing administrator is just as huge in many respects, and I want to be just as thorough when reviewing that. But yeah, still working on that. All right, so this is the final question in the technical questions. That question is, what's something you feel needs improvement?
I mean, to be honest, I feel like almost anything. Just like
Fair.
anything creative or any hobby, I guess you can say, everything needs a little bit more practice. And every day, I feel like you're learning something new. So I guess I can say that too. I'm always learning something new.
Sure. That makes sense. Is there anything in particular that stands out, though?
Yeah. I've been trying to get better at just like I guess you could say like maybe like chord progressions, just because I can find. I like whenever I go to like YouTube tutorials, I'm always looking like at complex like chord progressions and stuff like that, just to, like be different. And yeah,
Yeah,
pretty much that.
that's cool. Yeah, different chord progressions can definitely add variety in a song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I always start my songs with chord progression.
Cool. Like that's the foundation, and then you build out little melodies to harmonize
Yeah.
with it in the same chords. Yeah, that's cool. Although it is astounding, as someone who doesn't always have an abundance of chords, it is pretty crazy how many unique melodies you can create all in one chord. Like sometimes I only have one chord in a song. Sometimes no chords. If it's like a purely noise song, I guess you could say.
Right, like an ambient.
Yeah, or
song.
like mostly percussive song with like, elements of percussion and just stuff like that. Or like noise. But yeah. Let's see. Now, all right, here that's it for the technical questions. Now for some artist trivia. This is more just like fun miscellaneous questions that don't really fit anywhere else. First question on that one is, oh yeah, like these are the kinds of questions we're talking about. Like the first question being, who's an artist we wouldn't expect you to listen to? Hey, Marla Pickleson, welcome.
That's a good question.
Mm-hmm.
Can you repeat that one? I kind of forgot.
You kind of cut out there. What?
Can you repeat that one more time, please?
Okay, so the question is, who's an artist we wouldn't expect you to listen to?
Yeah. Okay, so almost everybody knows this. That knows me, but I'm gonna say I don't know if you know him, but his name is Joji.
Joji. I don't. No, it doesn't ring a
Yeah.
bell. What is
No.
No, I don't.
He was famous for, like YouTube, like the Harlem Shake and stuff like that.
Oh,
and then
well, I certainly know who the I
musician.
certainly know the Harlem Shake, but I didn't recognize the guy. Kind of sucks. It was kind of like it was kind of like memeified to death. I heard that the Harlem Shake is like a legit dance, and everybody just turned it into a meme. That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, God, that takes me back. Fuck. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Harlem
Yeah,
Shake.
I'm a big fan of that guy. So.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I know literally nothing about him other than the Harlem Shake. That sucks, honestly, too, because if I remember correctly, the Harlem Shake was pretty good. Like, memes aside, like craze, like I know the Harlem Shake like died a pretty violent death because everybody was doing it, and it was like so fucking tiring, like to so many people that it was like, I think like one of the most popular Harlem Shake videos is like some guy barging in and like just turning off the camera angrily, like just like no more fucking Harlem, like I don't know, like God, those times were crazy. Like I don't know. I guess that's kind of but that kind of circles back to memifying your music potentially. I don't know. And like, you did have a point there when you mentioned like you don't want to necessarily memify your songs too much because you don't want the meme to ultimately control the message in the song or your perception, or to make your song more popular than you, I guess, because it says something,
Right.
it says something that I don't know, that I didn't know the name of the guy, but I knew the Harlem Shake immediately when you said it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, and like that's similar, and like, albeit that's very similar to me, like to a much smaller level, but that's similar to me and how I think a lot of people see me on TikTok. Like, oh, I'm the "Don't hug me, I'm scared" chip speech guy on TikTok. Um, instead of a multifaceted musician who does mostly original songs. But yeah, yeah. God, I don't know how that tangent began, but yeah, I think yeah, it started with an artist we wouldn't expect you to listen to. Um, anything more to add to that, or did I feel like I kind of carried the conversation after after all that? Like,
No, you're good.
all right,
Yeah,
cool,
I
cool.
listen to him obviously,
Mm-hmm.
but I also listen to a bunch of other people like
Hmm.
Bonobo, Eden. I don't know if you know them.
I don't.
Who else? No.
Nah, but that's cool. I think I've.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, here's my next artist trivia question. What's your favorite and least favorite part about being a musician?
I'm gonna go with least first, just to
All
get out
right.
of the way.
Sure, sure.
But I really hate just like having the like any other creative thing, whether it's painting or writing poems or stuff like that. Yeah, the creative block has hit me a
Mm,
lot, and it's been a minute. Um,
mm-hmm.
but like I'm still in it still, but yeah.
Yeah, creative block is a bitch. Um, one way I've learned to handle creative block is I work on aspects of my music that don't involve creativity and involve mostly promoting existing music I have saved up and preparing it for release. Like that's a really good way to keep yourself occupied with more of the less creative aspects, if you will, just to work on the stuff
Mm-hmm.
that you already made and get it to look good, market it, get it out there, promote it. Like that's a less creative thing you can do to pass the time, and it's also very useful. Um, yeah. Uh, I don't know if that's something you do, or if that's something you've considered, or if, um, or what, but that would be my particular word of advice. But I cannot. Oh, what? But I can understand that even that being a bit too much. Like I don't know if it's like overwhelm that's holding you back or what.
Yeah. No, yeah, it's definitely that because I've been trying to like. I mean, I'm working on my EP, but at the same time, like I'm kind of like stressing out, just like trying to make new stuff, just trying to make
Mm.
something new. I think I'm
Mm-hmm.
just like, what's the word? I'm just overthinking it. Yeah, that's it.
Oh yeah, yeah. Overthinking. Yeah, I definitely
Sometimes
do
you
that
just
a
gotta
lot.
go for it. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
And then your favorite part. What's your favorite part about being a musician?
Um, just like telling people that I make music. Now I'm playing. I don't know. Just like, well, kind of that sense, but it's more like
Uh-huh.
just like sharing songs. Just like, hey, look, I made a little something.
Yeah.
Take a listen. If they like it, they like it. I mean that. Even if that's small, it goes a long way. Especially for like us. We're not like huge people.
Yeah.
So
No,
it goes a
yeah.
long way.
It does go a long way. That's one of my favorite parts about being a musician is sharing it with people and getting somebody's honest feedback, and just to know that people enjoy other people other than ourselves can enjoy our music. Like that means a lot. That's especially to, yeah, like what you were saying, like smaller indie musicians like us. Also,
Yeah.
see ya, Alex. All right. Let's see here. So the next question I have in the artist trivia is, Here's a would you rather question. Here's a would you rather question, another fun one. Would you rather have all the gear you could possibly want, or 3 placements with 3 of your favorite artists? This is a hypothetical.
Um. Wait, what do you mean by the first one?
So, gear could mean hardware or software, anything that could assist you in making music.
Right. Um. Let me think about it. Let me think
All
about
right,
it.
all right.
You know what? I'm gonna go with the first one.
Okay.
I know a lot of people will go with the second one, but I'd go with the first one just
That's
because
fair.
I don't. Well, I don't know.
The
For
thing
me,
is,
I see it as like I don't want to like rely on like my favorite artists helping me. I guess you could say. I mean, that's the way I'm seeing it. But
that's
at the same
fair.
time, I do want to expand on my sound first, and then I'll like do that stuff later.
Yeah, that's fair. Honestly, I see that. That's a good argument. I feel like other people's arguments in the other direction are like to the logic of like, oh well, if I get a placement with my favorite artists, one of my 3 of my favorite artists, that's gonna blow me the fuck up, and then I can have the
Right.
money to buy all the gear I could ever want. But I like your attitude. You're going with, well, no, I
Mhm.
want to grow on my own, and I want to have the skill. I want to build the skill and talent to grow big all by myself instead of relying on other people.
All right.
That's cool. That's cool. It's a perspective I haven't heard in a while. Let's see. Final question in the artist trivia is, if you can only choose one if you could only choose one of these, would you pick producing or vocalizing?
I think vocalizing.
Really?
Yeah, just because I've been trying to like get better at it. I feel like I've been doing making music for a while now, and on my second EP, like I do have people helping me with like production wise, just for like some certain songs.
Right.
And so I think it's kind of a step away of me just being a full producer like I used to be. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Cool. Mocked Music says same. Are you talking about the thing before, or are you talking about being preferring to do vocals?
Yeah, kind of both. I've been doing a lot more vocals recently, just because I kind of I didn't get tired of producing, but I kind of want to do something else, because then people just see me as just producer, when I want to be much more than that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was also asking Voxen because she said, "Hey, yeah, same, Mayito," and I was wondering if it was about the other the hypothetical I asked you before, or if it was about this particular question.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So that does it for artist trivia. Moving down to the final segment of questions. So final segment of questions is like called how did you get here? Now let's talk about how you came to be where you are now, and your public presence and your art, and where you hope to go from there. So the first question in that regard is, what was your first introduction to music?
So before the music, like anybody else, every child, I had a YouTube channel, and I was making gaming content, stuff like that. And it was just a thought, because I was putting music in like my videos, but then I was like, I kind of got tired of that. I was like, why don't I just make music, instead of like putting people's music in my videos. So it was just a thought, and then
Hmm.
yeah, I made it a reality. And ever since, I just started making music. And this was like 6-7 years ago. So
That's awesome. That's
yeah.
awesome. I never considered like that's an interesting origin story. That's cool. All right. Oh, here's a good one. There's a kind of a hands-on one. Show us if this one is show us your oldest and newest tracks. So like I'm sure you're aware of this one. I'm sure you prepared yourself for this question.
Yeah, for my oldest track, I actually don't even have access to that. Like, it's probably like on my old computer, which I don't have anymore. And for my newest track, I wish I like.
It doesn't even have to be your oldest track. It could just be like the oldest track you have available still.
It's probably on my computer. Yeah.
All right. Well, if you want to DM that to me, that would be cool. If not, like, yeah.
The thing is, I don't have access to it right now.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's fair.
Yeah. Or
All
else,
right.
yeah, I would have sent it like right away.
All right then. So your newest one then.
My newest one.
Just realized
My newest one is like under my EP, but again, I don't have access to that right now. I mean, I wish I did, or else, I play it.
Gotcha.
But,
Gotcha.
It sounds something like do. No, I'm playing. That's the best I can do.
I thought you were actually gonna start humming. Oh God, have you seen the? I don't even remember where this was. Where anyone like where they said this or who said this or anything. Hi, misleading. But I remember like somebody online somewhere was saying like, have you heard this song? It goes like this, like texting it out, and they just like went like dun 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 dun, like it was just like dun 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 to just like type in the humming of the song, which is hilarious.
I think I've seen it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just like it's so stupid. It's like you're literally typing out. Like, how are we supposed to? You can't even convey pitch in that. It's hilarious. Anyway, it just reminded me of that. Sorry.
You're good.
All right. All right. So I guess that one is kind of out of the question. So the next question is: do you want music to be a hobby or a career?
I want it to be a career.
Cool.
It's one of like my dream jobs, you can say.
Nice.
But I'm just slowly just trying to get better at it, just because before I used to rush everything. So, but yeah.
Cool. Yeah. All right. That's fair. So this is kind of a similar question. In fact, I don't even know what bears asking. But I mean, I don't know if I want to say it because you literally described it in the first one. The question is, when did you know you wanted to make music? But you kind of told me already with your gaming, you wanted to make songs of your own, instead of using other people's songs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is still a really cool way to get into music, by the way. All right. So, who are your inspirations? Is another good question.
Going back to what's his name? Joji. Like that's like the main one. Like a lot of people might not see it or might not hear it, but he does definitely play a sort of like presence, I guess you can say, in the music. Definitely, for sure. Yeah.
I feel like I need to re-listen to Harlem Shake, not just as a meme song, but like just as a full song. Like I think I've only heard like the first opening few seconds of Harlem Shake because I literally only watched the memes. But I think it would be cool to watch. I think it'd be cool to listen to Harlem Shake and even more of Joji's music just as music and not as a fun meme. Like I think that'd be fun to listen. I think I'd like to get it. I'd like to listen to that because I'm curious to hear.
Yeah, he makes R&B, which is way different than what I do, but it definitely
Cool.
still plays like the lo-fi-ness, I guess you can say.
Mm-hmm.
Does play like a little part.
It's also it's also quite different from the Harlem Shake, which is interesting.
Yeah, I think the Harlem Shake's actually a song he just like danced to. I don't know who it was made from,
Oh.
but
Oh, so it wasn't his. So it wasn't his.
no. It's just a song he did some weird thing to.
So he's just okay. So, all right, interesting.
But he actually does make music. Yeah.
So
yeah.
he's a musician and a dancer then.
Yeah, his early acts, I guess you can say. Definitely
Gotcha.
a lot of
Alright.
dancing.
Well, I'd like to listen to. I'd like to get into Joji's music and whoever made the Harlem Shake. But yeah. God, my cat's breath is so nasty, and he has a habit of sleeping next to my pillow at night. Oh God, and he sneezes often, so sometimes I sleep with a precaution blanket to avoid getting kitty. Oh God, that's hilarious and gross at the same time. That's adorable and gross at the same time. Getting kitty boogers on me. That's so. Oh man. All right. Well, anyway, next question. So how did you come to find a community of other musicians?
Like anybody, I just went on YouTube and just typed in music submissions, reaction, and then like put the live category.
Ah.
Yeah, that's pretty much
Did you find me or Rich F. Preem first? I don't remember.
I found you. Actually, I found you like probably like last year.
Oh wow.
And yeah.
Cool. How am I doing misleading? I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. I'm just, been a while since I've done these interviews. I'm happy to get back into the swing of things. I'm doing quite well. Oh yeah, you heard about the Harlem Shake, Marla Pickleson? It was everywhere for the longest fucking time. Like everybody was doing a video of it. But yeah. Oh, misleading. You've never heard of the Harlem Shake? It was like, dude, if you were around, when was the Harlem Shake popular?
I think like 2012 or 2011. Like around there.
Yeah, that makes sense. That rings a bell. It was like popular around back then. It was just like if you were on YouTube back then, it's hard to believe you haven't heard of the Harlem Shake. Because it was everywhere for the longest time. But anyway, let's see. Talking about the creator of Harlem Shake. Oh, or were you just misleading? Were you simply just wondering why we brought it up? In which case, we were, yeah. Anyway, it's because Mayito was saying how the person who made the dance for the actual Harlem Shake dance is an inspiration of his. Yeah. So that's that explained. The next question I have is, do you want to get signed or stay indie?
For now, I want to stay independent, but if it comes, it comes. I'm not trying to force it. Before I used to, want to force it, but now I don't want to force it.
Yeah. For me personally, I'm planning on staying indie. Mainly because I don't necessarily want a label to dictate what I can or cannot do with my music or to claim ownership of my music. But I can definitely also
Hmm.
understand the appeal of a label for marketing purposes. If you want to get, if you want to like have that lifted off your shoulders, I'm guessing. What, have you thought, like, is it just is your desire for a label like more just like, though that's just like the thing? Is that like, is your desire for a label mostly just because that's what musicians do, or did you take a lot of thought into like why you want to be signed to a label eventually?
Just like for like better opportunity. I mean, it
Mm.
depends the label,
Mm-hmm.
but
Yeah,
yeah, just that.
that's fair. Yeah. Although it's crazy to realize how many opportunities there are for musicians without labels as well. Um, just with DistroKid, and I think CD Baby was like one of the first like independent distributors offering to distribute music for independent musicians without a label. Because I and BMI, like those kinds of services were the first of their kind to really help independent musicians. I don't know. The music industry has changed so much, and well before I was born in many respects, and it's interesting. But yeah, it's I can definitely understand why being signed to a label, I guess, still without a doubt, it exposes you to different opportunities for sure. Like it, yeah. Um. All
Yeah.
right. And here's the final question. Wow, I can't believe we're already at the final question here. Final written question. If at this time, if anybody has any questions for Mayito Martinez, feel free to leave them in the chat. But my final written question here is, where do you aspire to be in the future? You kind of answered some of that with the label, but just generally speaking.
Yeah, I just want to like be like doing gigs and stuff like that. I mean, I plan on doing one for the EP, like a release party, I guess you can say.
Cool.
But just like small gigs and just
Interesting.
still making music.
Like, I'm curious. Do you perform any aspects of your music live? Do you DJ or anything? Like,
No, not yet, not yet. But I do
hmm,
plan on doing it for next year.
cool. Like, what kind of what kind of place do you want to perform at? Like, concert or like a bar or club or like
No,
where?
yeah, definitely not a concert because I'm not too big for that yet. But like
Fair
at a
enough.
small venue, small little
Yeah.
little music venue, just like with friends and stuff.
Ah,
I think that'd be the way to go.
yeah.
Just build a confidence, and then from there, you just build your way up.
That's a good idea. I like that. Cool. Misleading says, I am 100% sure the though that the artist who made that first track has lots of great music. I just for some reason don't like the over popularized memed music, kind of if like how Gangnam Style was ruined for me. Oh god. Whoopang Gangnam Style. Oh god, that's a whole other thing. Yeah, I definitely feel that misleading. I definitely feel like that for the longest time I refused to remember Gangnam Style because it was just fucking everywhere. Yeah, like I can definitely understand how that could have ruined a song. How having like a song memeified can completely ruin it for you or ruin its appeal. Um, and like the thing is, the difference between like Gangnam Style and uh Harlem Shake for me is the Harlem Shake is a song that I could actually unironically I think see myself enjoying. Whereas Gangnam Style, like it's still a cool song, but it's not quite my style as much as the Harlem Shake is, just like from an objective standpoint, looking at only the song and ignoring its meme quality. I would prefer Harlem Shake, and because I don't know, it's just like it's this fun like dance draw. I think it's like I don't know what kind of genre you'd call it. It's like I'm still not super versed in the different subgenres of electronic music. It's like some kind of, yeah, I don't know. I think it's similar in I think it's like similar to like the song. I can name songs that the Harlem Shake is similar to. Like the Harlem Shake is similar to Animals by Martin Garrix. Like that kind of vibe. I don't know what that genre is called. But yeah, like that's I've always enjoyed that kind of music. Hey, Rich F. Preem. Wait, when did you come up? I didn't see you show up in chat. Hang on. Let me check the old YouTube chat. Must have missed. Peace. Been here listening for about 25 to 30 minutes, just finally sitting down after doing some cleaning. Hey, cool. Picking back up on the interviews like they never left. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. You know, since it's been a long time since I've done any interviews, I've thought about changing up the format and like updating it to like, I don't know, change the quality. Like, so for the longest time, like I know like this whole setup, this whole interface is okay, but I feel like I could do better now, especially with the thumbnails. Like, I don't know how I like the thumbnails for my interviews. Like, I've thought about changing the format for a while, but you know, and I still might eventually. But oh, you asked a question earlier? Okay, sorry, I missed it. Let's see. Have to go back up in here. Okay. So Misleading asks, Mayito, do you like nighttime or daytime? That's a okay. Do you like nighttime or daytime, Mayito Martinez? What's your favorite time of day?
I'm more of a nighttime, to be honest. I always be doing stuff during the night.
Cool. All right. Then Vox and Musics asks, how long does it take for you to make / record a song or track?
It really depends. Like sometimes if I'm trying to make something quick, you know, nothing too crazy, then it could take me like just a few months, maybe like 4 months or 5 months or something like that. But then if it's something like that I want to really work on, like for this next EP, it's like, I mean, I've been working on this since like this year. Yeah.
Cool. I haven't missed a beat. Rich Ephraim says, you haven't missed a beat, Keegan. Producer dad joke. That's amazing. Although I'm not a dad. You'd be a great dad, Preem. You definitely.
Thank you. I'm playing.
Yeah, but you'd be a good dad, Preem. But yeah, do you have anything else to say? Anything else to add? Any questions or any just anything else to add?
Me?
Yeah.
Not really, but I really did enjoy this interview. I think it was really fun.
Yeah, it was really fun. I'm glad to have you on. Glad you were interested.
Thank you.
Oh wait. Looks like we have another question from Misleading. Mayito, does anything influence your music? I mean, we kind of had a question similar to that, but you can still answer that if you want.
I mean, besides like artists, I mean nature, just like seeing stuff. You know, a lot of water, space. I love outer space and just
dude, same.
Just like liminal things and yeah, just I like weird stuff. I think that's what influences it. Dude,
that's so valid. I love outer space. I mean, I wrote a song about outer space, like literally. Um, I love science fiction. I love liminal spaces too. Have you like? I don't know, just like. I mean, yeah, I'm definitely into weird liminal spaces too. Like, have you heard of the back rooms? Are you into the back rooms?
Oh yeah, I
Oh
love
yeah,
backrooms.
yeah. Just like the whole concept of like I've always liked going like like even when we go to the airport to travel somewhere, like it's always like there's always a certain excitement of simply existing in an airport. Like there's even though that's objectively a liminal space, right? Because that's like a place, in between place to get from here point A to point B that you don't really that most people only think of as pure utility to get from one place to another. But it's cool. It's cool. It's a cool thing. Like it's a cool thing aesthetic wise by itself too.
Yeah,
Sorry if
love
you asked that
that
already.
stuff.
I wasn't. No, that's fine. Misleading. It's Mayito was able to go off of it anyway. Like with a broader just a broader description, like just anything and everything, not just artists. Mine was a bit more specific. Oh, this is another one misleading. Misleading. Another question. Misleading is asked. And which you don't necessarily have to answer if it's too personal. But Mayito asks, "Do you still talk to your parents?" Family amazing, but sometimes we lose contact.
Yeah. No, yeah, I'm a family guy.
Oh hell
I
yeah.
love my family.
Same here. Same here. I'm very lucky to have a healthy, supportive family, and yeah.
Yeah, family goes a long way.
It sure does. Foxy Music says, I'm a fan of stars and galaxies. Try to use it in everything. Oh yeah, I've noticed, Fox, and it's really cool shit. Yeah. Yeah, well, I'm not sure how much else what much else is left to discuss. Any final questions for our guests before we skedaddle? Uh any final things? Any final questions? Any final any final things? I guess okay. What's your misleading ask? What's your favorite track you made, Mayito?
For the tracks that are out right now, I'm gonna say Adrenaline. I definitely had fun making that one.
Oh, I like Adrenaline too. It's a good one.
And it's I made it a while ago, but yeah, I like it. It's like it reminds me of Halloween, and I like scary stuff. So
I do too.
Yeah.
Well, I think that about does it for this interview. Thanks again for coming on. This was very fun.
No, thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So that has been another episode of Streaming with Keegan. Stay tuned next time for I think my very next release is going to be before my next live stream. My next release is called Simulation. I'll be releasing a promo video for that on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter. So that should be fun. I look forward to showing that to you guys, and as always, I will see you in the next video. I also plan on scheduling another episode of the AI deep dive. But probably not next Monday, maybe on the weekend. Still have to make sure everybody's available and down to do that. And of course, we're still anybody who wants to join the AI deep dive or want to know more about it, like you can always DM me. I'm always down to talk about it. And if you're interested in joining, it's a little Discord group. If you have anything to add or talk about, when it comes to artificial intelligence. Like that's a good series I want to work on, that I want to talk about. I have the first episode out on YouTube. Out on YouTube. It's edited down to a decent size. But anyway, that about does it for that. And as always, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.
See you guys later.